I'm George Curtis. Welcome to It's Your Law. Each week it's my privilege to bring you guests that teach all of us about the law, how it's made, broken, enforced, works, doesn't work, and how it might be improved. Today we have an interesting group of people who are doing something to make the law work better for many, many people who really can't afford to reach into their checkbook, get a big retainer, go to a big law firm, and buy $300, $500 an hour lawyers. But they really have some legal questions. And there's some dedicated people that you're going to meet tonight that are making sure that those questions don't go unanswered. It's a form of legal aid. It has a different term because it's Fox Valley wide. It takes place in Appleton, Menasha, Neenah, Oshkosh on different days of the month. It only works because there is a group of students with Fox Valley Tech and an outstanding teacher that make it work, and then we've got volunteers, lawyers who actually can give legal advice. I will admit I only make it half the time to the Oshkosh meeting, and we're in the basement of the Oshkosh Public Library right now. But every time I get here, there are two lawyers that are always here. And one of them is Dave Keck. You're going to meet him right now. Dave, welcome to the show.
Thank you, George. Thanks.
What makes this so important that you never miss one of these?
Well, I can tell you the reason why I never miss is we started the clinic 8 years ago, and we based it completely on volunteers, volunteer attorneys, volunteers from the community, from the university, from the other schools. And I sort of had the task from the very beginning of recruiting volunteers. And I noticed that it's easier to get people to come volunteer if I volunteer the time myself. So I have always been here. There have been a few times when I've missed for different reasons, but essentially I go to all three of the clinics every month, and I have for 8 years.
And what kinds of law are you dealing with the folks that come here? It doesn't cost them a dime, does it?
Never costs anybody anything, and people come on a first come, first serve basis, and they get real legal advice. The primary questions, most of the questions we get have to do with issues like family law, child support, divorce, placement of children. We also get a lot of questions about financial issues, either foreclosure questions, landlord-tenant questions. But we get the gamut. We get all kinds of different questions. We even get criminal questions once in a while.
And these are people who feel they can't afford a lawyer.
For the most part, it's people who really can't afford an attorney, and they need to get some advice about where to start, what to do. And they can do that here, and some people come back they come back to several different clinics and get advice throughout their case by coming here.
Well, I want to tell you that we have a number of guests tonight, and so we want to make some time for them. But you have been an inspiration for me. Every time I think, ooh, this is the third Tuesday, I should go to the library, but I've got better things to do, and I could actually make money in my own office, I think of Dave Keck.
And Dave Keck's going to be there, and Dave Keck's going to notice if you're there or not. And that's the reason why I'm there, because I found, just by experience, I found that that's the way to get people to come and volunteer. And we have a number of attorneys who are very dedicated and don't miss ever. And that's, I think, what this is really all about, and that's what I think the community should be aware of, is we have just a large number of people who just volunteer their time because they enjoy it, they believe in it, and they truly want to help with the skills that they have.
Who says lawyers aren't doing something good? And who says lawyers aren't likable? I know one I like already. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, George. Thanks.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to It's Your Law, and the scenery has changed drastically. We have a new guest. It's Christine O'Brien. Welcome to the show.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming. Tell us about the program.
So the paralegal program at Fox Valley Technical College started in October of 2013. We currently have about 55 students in the program. We've been pretty fortunate as far as placement is concerned. Now, the students recently came to me and said they wanted to form a student club or student organization on campus. So this semester, we started the Paralegal Student Organization. We currently have about 18 members in our student organization, and they're the ones who came to me and said, hey, we need to have a purpose. And the purpose was, we realized that there was a gap in the community as far as any legal services that are provided in the Appleton, Outagamie County area. So I reached out to the Winnebago Free Legal Assistance Clinic, and we started volunteering this past spring. And since then, the students and I jumped into it. We really enjoyed offering the service to the community, and have now teamed up to form the Fox Valley Free Legal Assistance Clinic to now include Appleton.
So we have your people working and helping out at Appleton,
Correct.
Lena, Menasha, and Oshkosh. And how many students are involved?
So we have about 18 students in the Paralegal Student Organization. I would say on an average night, we have 4 to 6 students volunteering at every single clinic.
And what do they do at the clinic?
So at the clinic, they do intake. So they meet with the clients when they first come in. They also do the interviewing with the clients. So they will go through, ask questions, establish what type of help they need. And in some instances, especially with family law clients, they will assist in filling out all of the family law pro se divorce forms.
Well, that's excellent.
Yeah.
It's good training. And one last question.
Sure.
What are these young people who are helping out with the legal aid program and are eventually going to graduate as paralegals? What do they do when they graduate? What kind of work do the paralegals do?
That's a great question. Well, there's a variety of jobs they can get into. We have students who are working for insurance companies, Thrivent, Secura Insurance. For example, we have students who are over at the courthouse. Actually, we just had one hired at the Outagamie County Clerk of Courts as a deputy court clerk. We have students who are working in private practice as well. Another one who has graduated, she is working for a title insurance company. So there's a variety of jobs that are available for students to work at.
So just like the doctors don't do all of the work, they don't take the blood, they don't take the temperature, we lawyers have assistants too, and we call them paralegals.
Absolutely.
And occasionally we pay them.
Hopefully, right?
All right. Christine, thank you very much for your insight.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to It's Your Law. Today's show is a kind of a treat for me, and I hope it is for you. We're meeting some young people who are a part of the new wave of how law is practiced and is going to be practiced throughout the country. The lawyers don't necessarily do all of the research. The lawyers don't necessarily do all of the client interviews or the preparing of the paperwork. They have well-trained assistants, and we call them paralegals. And we've got one of them right here who is studying to be a paralegal. Toni, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Toni, what made you decide that you wanted to study to be a paralegal?
Well, I've always been interested in the legal field. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I thought, okay, I don't want to become a cop. What can I do? Law school, that's a far fetch for me right now in the area. So I moved up to Appleton, and I looked at Fox Valley Tech, and they offered a paralegal program. So
and what
I
kind
did
of
that.
courses do you take in preparation for working in the legal system?
So we do legal research, we do family law, real estate, business law, drafting legal documents. There's a variety of classes along with electives such as insurance or debtors and creditors, excuse me.
And what do you do in helping the legal clinic, like the one we just finished tonight in Oshkosh?
So a lot of the volunteers, students as myself, will help with the intake. So again, just interviewing the clients, figuring out the legal questions that they may have. There's times where they're not really looking to just see an attorney and they only need assistance with filling out forms. So we're able to provide that service to them.
It's time consuming. How much time do you and your fellow students spend or invest in helping with this program?
It's a lot of time. If you are dedicated to all the 3 Tuesday clinics and the Saturday, you're looking at 10 hours a month, and we have some students that go all 3 Tuesdays and Saturdays a month, so It's a lot of time.
And I'll bet when you go to these 4 locations, you see the same lawyers time after time, like Dave Schultz and Dave Keck, contributing their time, don't you?
Definitely.
Is that an inspiration to you?
It is. As Dave Keck said, him volunteering his time, it shows that he's trying to give back, and it really pushes me to want to volunteer my time as well.
Well, you're interested in a career in the legal profession, and the legal profession is dedicated to helping people, and you young people are examples of that and an inspiration to people everywhere. I congratulate you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being on the show.
Thanks.
Welcome back to It's Your Law. We're talking to some young people who are working as paraprofessionals. They're going to be helping the legal system. They already are helping the legal system with our legal aid programs in 4 communities around here. And I just had the pleasure of meeting a young lady named Anna McGraw, who was a paralegal in Russia before she came here. Did I get that right, Anna?
Correct. Nice to meet you.
What do paralegals do in Russia?
Paralegals in Russia do essentially the same duties as here. They assist lawyers in drafting the documents, doing legal research, anything that law office may require.
Did you work in law offices in Russia?
I did work in the law office, and I did work in a corporation. I was supporting a legal department.
All right. Does the Russian government hire paralegals?
Of course, we don't have necessarily the same term. Paralegals, they're usually called legal assistants, which is essentially the same. But I believe every lawyer needs an assistant because it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. What do you want to do when you get out? Do you want to work for the government? Do you want to work for an insurance company? Do you want to work for people, individual lawyers? Do you have a plan?
I recently graduated, so I'm looking for jobs currently, and I'm pretty much open to anything. I have a little bit of experience both in law firm and in a corporation, but any job would be interesting to me.
Well, now I'll bet our legal system here in the United States is a little different than it was in
A
Russia.
lot different. That's why I went to school.
Are you finding that interesting to study the differences?
Yes, very.
Okay. What do you like about the legal assistance program that we have here in the Fox Valley that you're contributing your time to?
It is education that really works. This is something that prepares you for the work, and I find it very, very useful.
Many of these people who come for help really are in need of help, aren't they?
Correct.
Many of them are poor, and many of them have limited education, and they really need somebody to fill out those forms and point them in the right direction and get them a lawyer that can help them or tell them where to go to get more aid if they can.
Correct.
Do you find that satisfying?
Yes, the volunteering experience. Yes, it's for me. It's my way of giving back to community because this community was very nice to me. I had a lot of concerns when I moved here because I didn't know how people will accept me because obviously I'm from a very different culture, and everyone was really very nice to me. It's my way of giving back.
Well, that's excellent, and you're finding the legal community something that you can adjust to and assimilate, and you've got a lot of years ahead of you, the way it looks to me.
Thank you.
Good luck in your career.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to It's Your Law. We have another one of these students with Fox Valley Tech that are contributing so much to our legal system around here. And this young man's name is Jeremy Schoenike, right?
That's correct. Nice to meet you.
Good, huh? And Jeremy's from Marion.
Yep.
And Marion's up by Clintonville. You just taught me that. All right. When did you start your interest in the legal system?
Probably 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a little bit before that. I have a very keen interest in my local government back home, and I got involved there. I'm a local elected official now. I'm heading into my 3rd term. I became interested in the legal field really because of that, because there's so much research that goes involved, and I found my head buried in the state statutes and other codes of ordinances and whatnot, and I decided I wanted to do something different. So last year in December, I came down to Fox Valley Tech and decided to jump into the paralegal program.
And what are the most interesting subjects you're taking at Fox Valley?
Oh, they're all pretty interesting. I love to learn, so just about any class I am eager to get to. My advisor always says I'm one of the strange ones because I get stuff done in a hurry, and I'm eager to get to more. I really enjoyed the legal research part, just to be able to access some of the new technology out there to make jobs easier.
May I ask what kind of an office you hold?
I am a town supervisor.
In your home community?
Yep, in my township back home.
Well, that is interesting, hands-on, and you're
It is very.
dealing with the legal system there, aren't you? Mm-hmm. In fact, you're making some local rules and laws.
At times, yes.
And what motivates you to come here to legal aid?
Giving back to the community, helping people. That's really why I got involved with my position back home. I always think it's important to help those in need, and this is another opportunity in a little bit different way that I can come in and give some time and hopefully help some people.
Well, I can tell you it's appreciated. The people who come here and get the service are people who generally don't feel they have the money to go to a law office, and they don't think there's anything out there for them to protect them and advise them. Many of them are frightened. And this particular program is very useful to give them some comfort and some confidence in their legal system. And it certainly helps when they see young faces. You agree?
I agree. It's nice to come in and you know when you've helped somebody when sometimes the tears are flowing or they just say thank you, and it makes you feel good.
Well, congratulations. You've got another 50 years of this ahead of you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on the show. Welcome back. Our next guest is Lynn Schwartzkopf, and she's been here from the beginning, am I right?
That's correct.
When was the beginning?
November of 2008.
And how did this get started?
It was started by Dave Keck, Diane Fremgen, and Paul Fredrickson at the University of Oshkosh.
And what was the purpose of it?
To provide services to help those that couldn't afford to pay for attorneys and give them some free legal advice.
And over the years, how many people do you think have used this service?
Oh, I would have to probably guess, 8,000 or 9,000, if not more.
And many of these people are very, very appreciative, aren't they?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've had more people come in and say that they, don't know what they would do if they didn't have this to come to and ask questions.
I'm sure many people have told you that it made a difference in their lives, that somebody with knowledge would listen to their problem.
Yes. Yes, and answer their questions.
Is the volume of people who use the service affected by the economy?
Yes.
In what way?
We can always tell when the economy goes down, we have more people that are coming in seeking advice on, landlord-tenant issues and financial issues and, just things like that to try and make it through and get to the other side.
And what are some of the subjects that seem to be reoccurring in terms of the folks and their needs?
Family law is absolutely the highest. And then a lot of your landlord-tenant would be your second one, and small claims.
Well, we're going to talk to Dave Schultz next time. He's the family law expert. And
yes.
I can remember back many years ago when I did that kind of work, there's a kind of a surge of family law around holiday time.
Yes,
and
there is.
We're just going to keep Dave overnight.
That's right. We just keep him here till everybody's done.
Okay. You're going to continue, aren't you?
Yes.
What makes you keep coming back?
I enjoy it. I enjoy the people that are here. I enjoy meeting the people that come in. Being able to serve, to help people is important to me.
And it takes quite a bit of your time, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's time well invested.
Yes.
This is a real service to the community. And isn't it inspiring to see these young people who are going to take over for us someday, aren't they?
Yes, it is. They are an absolutely wonderful group of students, and Christine, their advisor, is wonderful. So it's great to get them in, and they're showing me a lot of things, I'll tell you.
And we welcome their help.
Yes.
And on behalf of everyone, all 10,000 people, I want to thank you for your help.
Well, thank you.
Welcome back to It's Your Law. Now we have our last guest of the evening, attorney Dave Schultz. First time I came to Legal Aid, there was Dave Schultz along with Dave Keck. The last time I came to Legal Aid, there was Dave Schultz and Dave Keck. Dave Schultz is an expert on family law, and family law, as you've heard from our other guests, is really in demand, especially at Legal Aid. Dave Schultz, congratulations for the service that you have given this community, and I hope continue to give, and the service to the legal aid. And you were here again tonight, weren't you?
I was, George, and it's with sadness coming tonight because this may be the last time that Dave Keck will be leading our program. He was the progenitor of the entire program, as you heard from Lynn. 8 years ago he started it, and we're sorry to see him go, but happy to see him go to a bigger and better future in Minnesota.
Well, how are you going to replace Dave Keck?
I think it's going to be devolved onto the other volunteers. Lynn is going to carry on. There are a number of dedicated people that have been to most of the programs, and we'll soldier on without Dave.
Well, we're going to try.
We're going to try.
He's perhaps replaceable, but not forgettable.
That's entirely true.
How many people do you think that you have cared for over in the corner that you have in this particular library basement over the years?
I hadn't realized that it's been 8 years. When I think that I'm 67 now and I was in my 50s when I started, that really puts things in perspective. So it's been quite a few people that we've talked to over the years, George.
And it's primarily family law that you help them in.
That's what you can't say specialize in under Wisconsin law. That's what I kind of focus my practice on, and that's typically the people that come to talk to me here.
Well, I haven't done family law for 40 years and I don't miss it. But I want to tell you that when I did family law, I was of the opinion that the #1 cause of divorce was poverty and the lack of money to have a quality of life, to take time off, to avoid having 3 jobs, to have some fun, to take a vacation, to provide something for the kids so they had some dignity and things like that. I was probably wrong, but what are your thoughts on that and how does it fit with legal aid?
Well, there was a wise man that once said the lack of money is the root of all evil. And I think that that's probably true. Nowadays, though, there are all kinds of dynamics involved. Emotional issues, money issues, social issues, just being with someone and basically falling out of love creates a lot of tension now. So I've seen a lot of it over the years, 37 years of practice.
Well, and a higher percentage of people who get married get divorced now.
It's a sad statistic to say that over 50% of the marriages fail. That's correct.
And then when children are involved, it's even tougher, isn't it?
They're the ones that are caught in the middle, George, as you well know.
I admire anybody who has the resilience to do family law and get up the next day and do family law again, and the next day and the next day. And there's some solace and salve if you're doing it and you're getting paid $350 an hour. But you're not getting a dime to listen to the same sad story here with legal aid, are you?
You're not, but by the same token as the cliche that we've heard so often, giving back to the community means something. Plus, you know what? It's addictive. I hadn't realized that it's been 8 years, and I feel bad if I miss one of the sessions, so it's fun to come here and see fellows like you come and volunteering as well.
Well, thank you. And thank you for being here on the show to get just a little bit of recognition, but to tell other people who might be giving it some thought, there is some satisfaction Even though you're not getting paid, there's some satisfaction in helping people who otherwise wouldn't have that help. And you better be an inspiration to somebody else to step up and take Dave Keck's place.
I wish more of our colleagues would come to these programs, George, to be frank with you.
Well, what you're doing here tonight will help encourage them, and what these young folks are doing will encourage other young people to contribute and to perform for people who need help and can't afford to buy it for retail.
Well said.
Congratulations.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for being
George.
on the show.
You're quite welcome.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank my guests for being on today's show. Their message is an important one: giving back to the community. Service. Service is the price we pay for the space we take while we're alive. The old timers certainly showed service, and they continue to do so. The new wave, the students, and Christine O'Brien, their teacher, show that this is going to continue. This is a real need in the community. People who can't afford legal service can get it at the free legal clinic. My message to the other lawyers are step up. See if you can replace Dave Keck and continue this service. It is important that we send the message and provide the service. Lawyers care. The legal service cares. The legal community performs. It isn't all about money. It's about fairness, justice, and generosity. That's my opinion. I'm George Curtis.